From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Friday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, Battle of the Mountains, Mountain View versus Rocky Mountain, there's definitely a lot of history in that game. Last year didn't go our way. The year before it did. It means a lot to us. I mean, they're our rivals, so we're trying to get stuff done against them.
It's like a little tradition, the axe. You always want to have the axe, have it in your football office. I feel like there's almost more of like a competitive nature between because there's more on the line. Just like it kind of fired up too, like just like waiting for that moment.
It means a bunch to us. We're like good friends with all those guys over there, and so like when we get to play each other and then have that to talk about like afterward, it's like trash talk all season. And so they've been trash talking us like all off season, and we're just trying to take the axe back, you know?
I mean, it's fun. Last year was a fun game, winning that, getting the axe back. It's always a fun thing. But we got to stay humble through it. It's a fun game. Having the stadium packed, home game this year, it's gonna be real fun.
I mean, that's an awesome game. It's something you're always looking up to. Big rivalry, and there's high stakes, and the energy is awesome. It's loud, and it's just always a game that we're looking forward to and getting ready for. Especially after the loss last year, we'll be ready, and it'll be exciting. It'll be a good time.
Welcome to week 2 of Friday Night Football. I'm Brady. Frederick. Jay Tust is out in Seattle tonight getting ready for a big-time matchup as Boise State takes on the number 10 ranked Washington Huskies. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of season left, but it is going to be hard to beat some of the matchups we saw this week. Plenty of 5A SIC battles. We had the battle in Boise, 3 high school games out on the blue at Albertson Stadium. But we're going to start it off with what you voted as our game of the week, the Battle of the Mountains. We'll take you to one of the best atmospheres you'll find in Idaho high school football. The Rocky Mountain Grizzlies ranking 3rd in the Idaho State media poll. This is what it's all about right here, defending the axe. Rocky took it home last year. The 4th-ranked Mountain View Mavs are going to try and bring it back. First drive for Mountain View. 3rd down, they run into some trouble with the snap. Justin McGee recovers, floats it off to Valentine Gomez-Ricks, the sophomore. Takes it downfield for a big-time gain. Now that Rocky Mountain defense would keep up the pressure. Mountain View is going to go ahead and take the points. I've never seen this at the high school level. 51 yards out, Martin Connington makes it look easy, splits the uprights, and eventually that Mountain View offense would start getting some touchdowns on the board. Goal line set, McGee going to call his own number, powers his way in from a few yards out to put the Mavs up 10-0. Mountain View really prides themselves on their power run game. They got some beasts on the O-line. They got some reliable guys coming out of the backfield. They would keep it rolling with their brand of football. Gomez-Ricks takes the handoff this time, breaks in for another touchdown. It was horns up for the first portion of this game. Mountain View leading 17-0. But you can't keep Rocky on ice forever. They would get it going. Here's a momentum swing. 4th down, they elect to go with the fake punt. It pays off. Look at them pick up the yards. Soon after that, Jaron Akibi going to pick up some huge yards on the pass from Gunnar Thompson. They would get theirs tonight, don't worry, but it just wasn't enough to turn the tide. For the 3rd time in as many years, the axe will switch hands. Mountain View, with a huge win on the road, they take the Battle of the Mountains 24-14. We're going to jump over to a big one from Thursday night. The Eagle Mustangs, currently ranked 1st in the Idaho State media poll. They were taking on the Kuna Cavemen, who are off to an undefeated start this season. Eagle leading 20-6 at halftime, but look at Kuna showing off the grit. Diego Valencia climbing up for the big-time interception in the red zone. That's going to earn him a spot on the turnover throne. Kuna getting a nice little momentum swing out of that one. But eventually, Eagles able to get back to work. Davis Harson facing the pressure in his face, dumps it off to Seth Brock. The senior cuts through the traffic. Defenders all over, but no one fast enough to get a hand on him. Eagle would stretch out their lead with the touchdown. Final quarter. How about one more for good measure? The sophomore running back, Noah Burnham, has been tearing it up this season. If he's doing this now, I mean, man, talk about a bright future ahead. Puts on the burners, diving effort into the end zone. That's good for another Eagle TD. Number 1 holds on to the throne. The Mustangs win this one 34-6. Let's keep it rolling. Centennial hosted the Bishop Kelly Knights out in Meridian tonight. Things started off with a bang. We're going to show you Knights quarterback Ben Avella throwing deep, connecting with wide receiver Cooper Kamen, sprinting to the goal line for their first score of the game. But the Patriots would come right back. Quarterback Tate Keddington hands it off to Jordan Kafari. He breaks away, manages to stay ahead of the pursuit, brings this one all the way into the end zone, ties this one up, and that Centennial crowd real happy about that one. But a little bit later, Avella fakes the handoff, throws a bomb to the end zone, and connects again with Cameron to put Bishop Kelly back on top. BK slaying another 5A team. They take this one 49-17. Well, let's head over to Donald Larson Park. We'll show you some North versus South action. The Post Falls Trojans made the trip down to take on the Timberline Wolves. Post Falls up big early, but the Wolves still fighting. Quarterback Jack Brandt throws on the run, completes it to Heath Rest, taking it in for the score. Now Post Falls quarterback Isaac McCowan responds with a pass to tight end Asher Bowie, runs straight up the middle. Nobody's going to touch him as he gets into the end zone for the Post Falls score. Now here's Timberline's Brandt throwing under pressure. He's going to be picked off. Cooper Craig runs it back for some big-time yardage before being taken down. Later on, McKellen throws to wide receiver Austin Rutherford. He's going to manage to hold on to the ball despite the defender on the back. Take a look at this grab right here. Just goes up and gets it. Post Falls taking the win tonight, 48-22. All right, let's head west. Another Thursday night game. Always a packed house at Middleton High School, even when they're playing on a Thursday night. The Vikings jumping into some non-conference action as they host Skyview. First drive for the Vikings, they stall out on third down. No problem. Pachi Franks takes the handoff right up the middle. They can't seem to bring the man down. He breaks off and gobbles up 60 yards before they finally catch up to him and take him down. The student section going crazy. They were banging a drum all night, but that Skyview defense holds them to 4th and long. Middleton's been aggressive on 4th down. They do it again. Cash Weeks drops back, delivers a dime to Colton Severa. He bobbles it for a second. Very nice two-handed recovery as he gets into the end zone untouched for the first score of the game. But I'll tell you what, Skyview had an immediate answer. Vikings held him to third down, but Cash Buse rolls to his left, delivers the deep ball to Mason Cron, throws up the stiff arm, takes this one all the way. That's just the razor's edge you live on after third down, giving up a big gain like that. Also pretty fun. Both quarterbacks in the game named Cash, spelled differently, but that's kind of unique, right? Well, this game turned into a shootout. Another big run, different guy this time. Cole Holman getting things moving, somehow able to stay on his feet after breaking all the tackles, gets Middleton set up at the 20-yard line. Heck of a 1-2 punch between Holman and Franks. In fact, it's Franks punching in the score to finish the drive. Middleton defends the home turf. They pick up their second win of the season with a 41-27 victory. All right, guess what? We've got some special guests in the studio tonight. Say hello to the Borah Lions seniors. We'll go through the list. We got Jacob Detweiler, the quarterback. Matt Knight, wide receiver. Trevor McKenna, defensive and offensive line. Javon Nelson, running back. Tanner Sitzer, the wide receiver. How are you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
I'm doing good.
Great.
Pretty good.
Now, the Borah Lions are coming off of a big-time win over Nampa, 35-6 last night. Let's start with you, Jacob. What went right in that game for you guys?
We were clicking on offense. Defense was shutting them down all game, and we could get anything we wanted. We just had to keep putting the pedals to the metal.
Absolutely. Now, Matt Knight, you guys have a new quarterback. Tell me how good of a job Jacob has been doing this season.
Oh, man, I just want to say, 1 pick in 3 games is a lot better than our quarterback did last year anyways, but I'm loving the reads he's making. He's been able to stay in the pocket and also get outside of the pocket and still read downfield. It's pretty awesome.
Now, Trevor McKenna, a lot of Boise State fans already know this guy, committed to play on the blue next season, and you got off to a hot start. We were very excited for game 1. 6 sacks. I know that was the Borah record. Did I hear it was also the Southern Idaho Conference record as well? Do you know yet?
It very well could be. I'm not sure about that.
It was a lot. It was more than I'd ever seen. I want to ask you, when you get into that zone, what was going right for you?
You know, I'm at my best when I just play fast and, you know, revert back to my technique and just all the practice and all the hours that I put in, and, you know, with my training helps me get it done.
And you got some guys on the D-line with you who are some dogs. I mean, tell me about the front you guys are giving pressure to the other quarterbacks with.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I got my brother playing on the other side of the ball. He's getting a lot of reps at the other ends, and, you know, it's great seeing him grow and learn. He put up some numbers against Nampa, and that was great to see. We got Johnny Cerrone. He's a returning starter. Again, he just wrecks it. He's an interior D lineman. And a little bit of a sleeper this year, Greg Shaw, first time coming out being a starter straight away, and he's really making an impact on the D-line.
Now, Javon, I gotta apologize to you for when I missed your kick return touchdown in that season opening game, and I have been beating myself up over it ever since. But here's something pretty cool. You missed the entirety of last season with an injury. Obviously didn't miss a step, really are making the most out of your senior season, final year to play high school football. What has it meant to you to get out to this insane start? It was 3 touchdowns, 198 total yards in the season opener, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, tell me what it's been like to just get out to an insanely quick start for you.
You know, I've just been trying to do my best because, yeah, I did miss last year, and, you know, I'm trying to make it to college and play college ball. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just playing football, trying to ball out and just hang out with my buds and just do the best I can.
Now, Tanner, I got to ask you, how long have you guys been playing together? I know this team has a ton of chemistry. You can see it out on the field. You guys go back pretty deep, don't you?
Oh yeah, we go back since Optimus. I mean, I've been playing with these guys a long time, so it's been great.
How much of a difference does it make when you guys have that kind of chemistry, when you have played for so long, you know, since early childhood?
Yeah, no, it definitely builds chemistry that it's really unbreakable. So I love playing with these guys. You know, wouldn't want anyone else. So.
Now, one of my favorite parts about, you know, going through high school football, being on the sidelines, are some of the smiling faces we get to see. And every time I cover a Borah Lions game, one of my favorites is there. John Anderson, Borah super fan, a great alumnus to represent your school. How much does it mean to have his support? Anybody can answer that one.
I mean, man, you gotta love him. He's the best. Always bringing the energy, always in there, just smiling, making everybody happy. You just can't go wrong with John.
Absolutely. Well, as we keep it rolling, you guys take on Kuna next week. You can enjoy a nice extra long weekend. Always nice to head into a 3-day weekend coming off of a win. But I just showed you the Kuna highlights. What'd you see out of that group?
From the defensive perspective, you know, they're a pretty smash mouth football team, and I think it's going to be a really fun matchup because I believe our strength is our D-line, and it seems like their strength is their O-line and their power run game. So I'm really excited to get in there and, you know, mess it up with my boys.
Yeah.
All right, guys, another question for anybody. A 3-0 start after just barely missing the playoffs last season. It seems like you guys have a rolling. What's the key to keeping this momentum rolling for you guys?
Well, I mean, last year we lost to, like I say, Kuna and Nampa. We're really on this season. Really, we're ready for revenge. We want to take it all. We're here to put up some real numbers this year after a bummer of a year last year.
Definitely. You guys have the chemistry. You guys seem to have the culture. Something we haven't touched on yet, you guys are always hyped up to play. I love seeing you guys go to work in pregame. What's the pregame hype song? How do you guys get amped?
It's Coach Prime. Coach Prime, we got Meldrum with the dun, you know? So, yeah, we got Coach Meldrum to bring the hype and the juice every pregame, without a doubt.
100%.
Yeah, it's all Coach Meldrum.
That's awesome. Hey, a question for Trevor, because we're gonna see another Boise State commit coming up, but I want you to tell the viewers, why'd you pick Boise State? Obviously close to home, but what was so special about the Bronco program that made you want to, you know, follow in the footsteps of another Borah legendary player, Austin Bolt?
Well, I feel like the culture at Boise State really matched with me. You know, at Borah, it's kind of nothing's handed to you. You got to take everything you get. And I feel like it's the same way at Boise State. You know, it's going to be an easy transition.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining tonight. We're going to wish you the best of luck as you take on Kuna next week. And it's great to just have some teams in the studio. We haven't been able to do this in such a long time. So thanks for spending your Friday night with us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
All right, we got more highlights coming up real quick after this.
I'm certain that all the other teams are feeling the same thing that our guys are feeling. Is this is what we wanted. We wanted Idaho high school football showcased on really the center of football in Idaho. Kids get up every year and they dream about playing on the blue. Really look forward to creating an event that can be replicated and continue to create opportunities for kids to get on that field.
It's going to be a ton of fun, you know, playing on the blue. Not a lot of kids get the opportunity to, and Me being committed there and playing on it's just going to be a special experience. And I mean, I've always been hyped for this game, but now I'm even more hyped. This is going to be so much fun, and I'm really hoping there's a lot of people there, and we get the place packed, and it's going to be a ton of fun.
All right, we have been really excited about this. Usually it's only reserved for the state title games, but tonight, 6 different teams from all different areas of Idaho, different classifications, met for the battle in Boise. And let me tell you, these matchups were a ton of fun. We're going to start out with some 4A action. The first time Bronco fans get to see Gatlin Bair, the #1 recruit in Idaho high school football history, the #1 rated commit in Boise State history. But guess what? On the first play from scrimmage, it was the Valley View Falcons taking the spotlight. Quarterback Eli Daniel rolling out of the pocket on the option, flips it to number 14. I apologize, number 14 wasn't on the roster that we found online, but guess what? He's pretty fast. Going to take this one to the house, giving the Falcons the early lead in this one. That Valley View defense would keep up the momentum. They hold the Bobcats to 4th down, but guess what? They're going to go for it, not just for the first down. They want the whole thing. Mac Jensen lets it fly. Gatlin Bair catches it and does the rest. Guess what, Bronco Nation? You can get used to seeing that. His first touchdown on the blue, hopefully the first of many to come 2 years from now. Well, Valley View wastes no time driving down the other way. They get a nice run up the gut, but that Burley defense hawks to the ball, rips it out, and recovers. Took a second for the refs to talk it over, but that's going to be Burley football. They make the call, and Burley's air attack was something special tonight. Jensen getting another one. Look at the fighting effort from number 8. We weren't able to get his jersey tonight either. That's our bad, but hey, pretty big play from him. And I'll tell you what, how about one more for good measure? Another ball to Bair. Mac Jensen, way deep. Bair all alone to reel it in. 59-27 late in the 4th. It looks like Burley's running away with it. But like we said, this one got started a little bit late, so we'll have that final for you online at KTVB.com. All right, next up at Albertson Stadium, how about a local battle? The Emmett Huskies going all blue on the blue, typically a good omen as they take on the Fruitland Grizzlies. This was a heater right from the kickoff. Emmett splits the kick coverage down the middle, almost breaks off for 6, but Joshua Proctor not only there to lay the hit, he knocks the ball loose, and that Grizzlies recover. Roller coaster of a first play. Well, eventually the Huskies get it rolling. Running back Isaac Brennan takes the direct snap, breaks off to the outside, gets the first score of the game. But Fruitland wasted no time getting downfield. Only problem, it's 4th down at the goal line. They're going to go for it with some trickery. They flip it to Coy Kaufman. He tosses it up to Titus Vidlak for the touchdown. You recognize that? That's the Philly special from the Super Bowl a couple years back. One of the best plays we saw all night. Hey, Emmett won this one 27-14. Great battle, though. Hopefully the only Huskies leaving with a W this weekend. Now, they wanted the battle in Boise to display all levels of Idaho high school football, so it's time to put some respect on 8-man. Maybe one of the best matchups we'll see in the Gem State this year. The defending 1A D2 back-to-back champion Kendrick Tigers putting their 16-game winning streak on the line, taking on the three-peat 1A D1 defending champ Oakley Hornets. And Oakley set the tone right out of the opening kick. Bryce Severe takes this one out on a journey. One man to beat, breaks the tackle, turns this one into a house call. 13 seconds into the game. The Hornets would lead 6-0 after being no good on the 2-point try. From there, how about their defense stepping up? Kendrick takes a shot downfield. First play from scrimmage. Isaac Craney climbs the ladder and comes down with it. The Hornets buzzing early on, but in the second, Kendrick gets things rolling. 4th and 10, they go for it. Quarterback Ty Kep drops back, lets it fly. Michael Taylor is there with way more than the first down, crosses the goal line, and the Tigers take the lead after being successful on the 2-point attempt. From there, this game turns into the shootout that we had hoped it would be. Next trip down, Oakley back in Tiger territory. Kyler Robinson feeling the pressure, gets out of the pocket, floats it to Severe. He takes advantage of the wide open space, gets the lead back to Oakley as he picks up his 2nd touchdown of the night. Well, how about an immediate answer from Kendrick? Ty Kep, he's a guy who's got offers to play quarterback for Montana Tech next year. Showing off the wheels this time, breaks into the end zone on the read option. This one really lived up to the hype. Let me tell you, I'm a big Kendrick Tigers fan. They would hold on to win it 44-22. Really cool event today out on the blue. A lot of kids got to live out their dreams playing on one of the best fields there is. The best part, Cameron Anderson, the event coordinator and Burley head coach, is hoping to make this thing bigger and better next year, hoping for a matchup from all 6 Idaho classifications. Can't wait for that. All right, and finally tonight we got another 8-man game. This one's from Thursday night. The Greenleaf Grizzlies host the Notus Pirates. This week the Pirates came 5th in the statewide media poll. You can say they're putting the 8-man ranks on notice. Get it? All right, hot start for them. Grayson Benitez takes the screen pass, got the blockers and sink, hits the defense with the bye. Things were going pretty well to start this one off. That made it a 31-0 game halfway through the first quarter. Gotta love 8-man football. They're going to call his number once again. Benitez, this time off the pitch, he says, "Get off me." Keeps running down the field. Nothing but green grass ahead as he breaks in for another one. Hey, no shutout tonight, though. Greenleaf gets theirs. Quarterback, whose name I unfortunately don't have, they did not have the rosters at this game. He's going to take this one for the house call, though. A casual 80-yard quarterback keeper for the first Greenleaf touchdown of the game. Well, guess what? Notus would have an immediate response. Number 25 getting ready to field the kick, and he is on a mission once he picks it up. He's going to go straight down the middle, break a handful of tackles, get outside, and then he's gone. Greenleaf, Notus holds on for another big-time win. They take this one 65-13. Let's take a look at some of the other scores around the valley. Boise with a big win tonight, improving to 3-0 on the season, taking down Oakley 10-7. Borah also improved to 3-0 on Thursday night after their win over Nampa. Thanks again to the Borah Lions for joining us in studio. Homedale taking care of business tonight in Gooding, and McCall Donnelly taking down Nampa Christian. Moving forward, Buell gets the win over Mountain Home. Ontario beats Caldwell at home. Camas County takes down Garden Valley, and Minico falls to Mountain Crest of Utah by just 1 point. Well, it may be football season, but there's plenty of other sports also happening around the Treasure Valley this fall. So tonight, we wanted to introduce you to a Boise High School senior making an impact on and off the field in not just one, but several sports.
I guess since I was little, I've always had, big dreams and aspirations, and I've put my mind to accomplishing those things.
Now in her 4th year competing for Boise High School, senior Sammy Smith has accomplished a lot. The multi-sport athlete has won several individual and team titles in cross-country, track, and soccer with the Brave. In each sport, she's been named the Idaho Gatorade Player of the Year, all before her senior season.
As soon as I could walk, even before I could walk, my parents had us doing a bunch of different things. And, I was lucky enough that they kind of let me play pretty much everything so I could find what I loved.
That includes soccer and cross-country skiing. Those sports have taken her around the world. Last fall, she was selected to compete with the U.S. Youth National Soccer Team at the U17 World Cup in India.
That was so much fun, and to get my first caps in an international soccer game was pretty crazy. And it was a super cool experience, really fun to see a different country.
She's also a member of the U.S. Cross-Country Development Ski Team. This past spring, she competed at the World Cup in Norway.
Going into it, I had zero expectations. I was pretty confident I was going to get close to last, and I was just there for the experience. But I somehow managed to sneak into rounds, which is top 30 for the sprints. So I got to be on the line with Jesse Diggins, Jonas Sundling, and to get to race against world champions, Olympic gold medalists, and the best skiers in the world was pretty crazy.
She just is a really hard worker and really dedicated, and she, deserves all of it and a million times more. And so I'm so proud of her.
Her sister Logan plays soccer for Stanford, a perennial powerhouse. Next fall, she'll join her on the Cardinal.
I have a sister who I admire incredibly, and I've gotten to see all of her hard work pay off, and I look forward to getting the chance to play college soccer with her.
I'm so excited to have her here with me. We've been playing together since we were since I was 3 years old, and so I feel we really get each other on the field.
But first, Sammy has a few more goals she hopes to accomplish.
For soccer, I'd love to be repeat state champion, and for cross, same thing. To be part of that state cross-country team would be pretty fun. There's also a U19 Pan American team for the national team for soccer. I would love to be part of that. In terms of skiing, the U.S. is hosting its first World Cups in a very long time, so to get to compete on U.S. soil would be pretty crazy.
And I think one of the coolest things is just like how much she's not like focused on the accomplishments at all. She cares so much about all of her teammates and like helping the team win.
With Danny Alsop, I'm Brady Frederick, KTVB Sports. And during the pandemic, Sammy and her siblings started a nonprofit called Go Bigs. Its goal, helping underprivileged youth in the area who may not have access to these same academic and athletic resources. She says right now she's trying to get something started up at Boise High. Now, meantime, we'd love to do stories like this more and more throughout the fall. So if you know of an athlete who we should be profiling, please let us know. Now, even after all the games this weekend is really just getting started. At long last, Boise State kicks off their football season, and they're going to be doing it on the national stage. It's going to be a battle in Seattle as the Broncos take on the number 10 ranked Washington Huskies. As always, we're going to get you ready for all the action as we kick off the first Bronco Roundup game day of the year. Jay Tust will be out on the field in Seattle. I'll be holding things down in the studio here in Boise. We're going to have one-on-one interviews with head coach Andy Avalos, as well as Boise State's coordinators, Bush Hamden and Spencer Danielson. We're going to have a jam-packed show, a special extended 90 minutes to get you ready for one of the biggest season openers BSU has had in years. We can't wait. We'll see you tomorrow at 11:30 on Idaho's News Channel 7 and on KTVB. Plus, for now, from all of us in the studio, Danny Alsop in the booth, Zach Armstrong getting all these highlights posted online for our digital team. We want to thank you for joining us for Friday Night Football. We also want to once again thank the Borah Lions. Pretty crazy week 2. We're excited to jump into week 3 next week. For now, have a great weekend.